Welcome. Thank you so much for attending. I'm Charlotte. I'm the Power to Summit lead, and I am joined here by the wonderful Cora Rhodes as well. I'm just going to go over a quick few housekeeping items first. So just ask that everyone please mute your microphones. And if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please put your questions into the chat and we'll be answering those at the end. If you would like to see everyone's wonderful faces, please watch in gallery mode or feel free to use speaker view, whatever your Zoom preferences are. So I'm going to start with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge with respect the Coast Salish people on whose traditional lands and waterways we live, learn, and play. And for me particularly, I would like to acknowledge the Musqueam and Squamish people from whose traditional lands I'm speaking to you from today. So without further ado, Cora Rose, do you want to share a little bit about the history of Power to Summit?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you all virtually, of course. I love seeing some familiar faces here. So we just want to talk about the history of Power to Summit. Some of you had raced last year, and so you know, last year was a way to celebrate an actual summit that took place by our founder. In the bottom right screen, it's just the individual, Tim Cormode, our founder. Him and some of our other supporters actually hiked Kilimanjaro back in 2010. So last year we thought, what a better way to celebrate this than to actually do the hike ourselves with our racers, with our corporate teams and our community. So last year we had a phenomenal event hiking Kilimanjaro. And this year we thought we want to keep up that amazing tradition, keep up and embracing that community. And so we're doing Mount Denali, the highest peak in North America. And of course, through this, we've also learned that there's an entire photo album available through our Facebook group page, which I'll speak to right now. So this is the Power to Summit Facebook group. We're going to drop the link into the chat at the moment, and we highly recommend that everyone joins the Facebook group. This is a great way to hear updates about Power to Summit, as well as see what other people are doing for race ideas, for certain challenges like best dressed or team spirit. And of course, as we post more photos, there's also more opportunities to win. So let's chat about, of course, the Telus Social Media Challenge. So this is our Telus Social Media Challenge. What we have is we are challenging you to post photos of you and your racers on your summit. And to enter into this draw, you have to tag Power to Be, tag Telus, and then hashtag Power to Summit. And the winner of this prize gets to win 4 Apple AirPods. And of course, as I mentioned before, the more photos that you post, the more chances you'll be eligible to win some other prizes.
Other prizes?
Hey.
I could absolutely post
no.
those.
I just ended up doing something else.
We can talk to some of the other prizes that we have. So even before you start your hikes, you start your climbing of your elevation, we have some great race incentives up for offer. So for teams that raise $1,000 before the race starts on Friday, September 17th, that's next Friday, you will be virtually chopped into our base camp, which is at 2,200 meters, and your legs and team will thank you for this, because that means you have a reduction of 2,200 meters off the total elevation you have to climb on race weekend. I think that's a great incentive. And then for those wonderful teams who raise $2,000 before our race start on Friday, 17th of September, your team will be entered into a prize draw for a one-night stay in an ocean suite room at Brentwood Bay Resort and Spa. Thank you so much to Brentwood Bay for donating that wonderful prize. Again, a great incentive to get your fundraising going and started early. And talking of fundraising, let's have a look and see how much we have raised so far. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness. Congratulations, everyone. That is great. You have raised to date $59,000. $1,000 for Power to Be. That is amazing work. I know that you're going to push this total even higher as we get closer to race weekend and over race weekend. Can't wait to see what our final total is going to be. Now, a quick note on fundraising and how you're seeing it on race roster. There can sometimes be a little bit of a lag between when a donation comes into you or your team and it's showing up on the front end of race roster. Now, in terms of our prizing and eligibility for top fundraising individual and top fundraising team, not to worry, because us on the back end of this system, we can see in real time exactly the amount that's being raised. If you do have any concerns about how your total is showing, please just reach out to us and ask any questions, and we'll be happy to help and let you know how it's all showing on our end as well. Now, for the next part, I would like to talk about some of the rules that we have to keep everyone safe, to keep it all fair and even. And just to mention that all of our race rules can be found on the Power to Summit website, which is powertosummit.ca, in the race resources section. But I'd like to run through just a couple of them while I have you all online, some of the most important ones. So we are unfortunately still in the midst of a pandemic, so we do appreciate that all participants follow physical distance protocols recommended by the federal and provincial governments. So just make sure you're keeping physical distancing on the trails when you're out and about doing your elevation. Next, have to mention, this is a non-motorized race. So unfortunately, cycling to gain your elevation is not allowed. However, we want to make sure this race is as inclusive as possible for everyone. So we have our wonderful race inclusion ambassadors. I know Graham's on the line right now as well. And they can, Graham and Simon can be reached out to if you have any adaptability questions or requirements for the race, and they'll be happy to work with you on ways that we can make sure this race is inclusive for your whole team. Now, cutoff time. This is really important for prizing. So for some of our prizing, such as Act of Kindness, which is our top fundraising team, for our top individual fundraisers, please make sure that all of your fundraising donations have come in by our cutoff of Sunday, September 19th at 4 p.m. And then also for you speedy racers out there that are really keen to be the fastest team, please make sure that your elevation and total time has been logged in again by the cutoff time of Sunday, September 19th at 4 p.m. And finally, I think the most important piece on the rules is your safety. So at Power to Be, we like to make sure that we are safe, and when we're on program, that we have a really good plan in place. So you can find these route cards online on the race resources section. They're downloadable. And they're a great place to gather the information for your team and how you're all going to be doing your elevation and what trail you're going to be on. And then we recommend that you share this race route card with someone who is not summiting with you, so that if need be, they can track you down. Now, this is a great segue. Speaking of tracking, Cora Rose, are you able to talk a little bit about how racers can track and record their elevation and time?
Yes, I'd absolutely love to. This is a very common question that we get amongst our racers. So what we've done is we created a really simple system so that you can track your elevation as a whole collective team. So right here, you're going to see our Power to Summit Denali race map. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see a button that says all teams, which is blacked out right now. So when you are clicked on that part, you'll be able to see all the other teams and where they're at with their elevation. You'll see these red dots, and those actually identify where the races are from the Friday through the Sunday. Now, if you're just interested in where your team is, you just click the Your Team dot. And as you can see, your team. So as mentioned earlier on this webinar, if you raise $1,000 before September 17th, you actually get to start and be virtually choppered in by Helijet to the base camp at 2,200 meters. That's where you get to start your elevation. So think about how much elevation gain that is. And of course, how do you actually put in this information? We'll go to the next slide. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select your team name, and the team names will be pre-populated. So that drop-down box, you'll just go find your team name. Then you'll select your bib number, which you'll receive in your racer kits, and then you'll select the day. There's two options for the day. There's a Saturday and then there's a Sunday. So if you chose to do elevation gain on the Friday, you would just input it on the Saturday. And as mentioned before, if you received that pre-race incentive of the 2,200 meters, we will have already plugged that in here, so you don't need to add it into addition of your total elevation. Then you would put in the elevation. We ask that to be entered in meters, and then you would put in the password. And this year's password is Summit 2021. We'll be sending out an elevation tracking tutorial after, as well as the password, so you will have access to this. Then you press enter, and it populates you back on the map. Now, there's one more elevation tracking, and that's on the Sunday. So we'll just flip to the next slide. For those of you that are really keen racers that want to get that fastest race time, this is where you're going to enter it. And it's only entered in on Sunday before 4 p.m. So again, you're going to select your team name, the bib number, of course, the day, Sunday, your total elevation, and then you're going to input hours, minutes, and seconds. So for example, if Charlotte and myself both did 2 hours in our race and our other two racers did another 2 hours, that would be each racer doing 2 hours each, so a total of 8 hours. And we would put in 8 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. And then again, we type in that password, which is Summit 2021. So now, speaking of the bib numbers, we want to share with you our awesome racer kit. So these are our racer kits. For us, it was really important that we wanted to make this event feel like an actual in-person event. And of course, all of you remember what it was like to go to any race and pick up that awesome swag bag. So we are hand delivering and couriering out racer kits to you. What you can see is a photograph. We have a beautiful dry bag donated by Telus, and it's been branded with Power to Be. We also have an awesome donated hip pack from Fial Raven. And of course, we want you to stay hydrated out there. So check out our BMO water bottle as well as our Energy C's. And then you'll just see on the back there, there's actually an information card that tells you a little bit about Power to Be and why you're raising funds on behalf of Power to Be. So this is an awesome way to raise awareness for Power to Be and also share the messages and how this supports our programs in Vancouver and our participants. And of course, in there we have obviously some donated sanitizers from Helijet, and it's just going to be a place to really get all your swag in there. And then of course, after the race, you can't celebrate without the Driftwood beer. So please have a cheers after the event as well. Now, I think these are some awesome prizes in the kit, but also we have some other goodies for you that I think Charlotte would like to speak to.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, we have so many different ways that you can win and win prizes throughout the race. So all of our awards are going to be announced post-race on Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. But I just wanted to let you know of some of the awards you can potentially win. Our Act of Kindness Award, this goes to our top fundraising team, always super competitive, and cannot wait to see which team comes out on top there. I think I can see Dana in the chat also asking that question already. And our race winner goes to our fastest team. So for all of you speedy folks out there, this is the one for you. Make sure you get that timing quickly before 4 p.m. on Sunday. We have prizes for top individual fundraiser. We have my favorite, the best dressed category. Cannot wait to see all of your costumes and your interesting ideas and themes. And then we have not one, not two, but 3 Castles Team Spirit awards to be giving out as well. As Cora Rose mentioned, we have our Telus social media challenge. So make sure you are posting and tagging as much as possible. The more you post, the more chances you have to win in that category. And we also have some in-race prizing happening during the weekend based on your fundraising on Friday and on Saturday. You can find all of the information about the prizes and awards on the race resources section of the website. But just to give a few highlights, we've got some great prizes. We've got some fabulous gift cards for wonderful restaurants like Joe Forte's, Nightingale. We have some great apparel to be won from Arc'teryx, and of course, a chance to be featured in the Globe and Mail. So please check out all the prizes, and thank you to all of our sponsors and event partners for donating the wonderful prizing there as well. So without further ado, I am going to move on to talking about questions and answers, Q&A section, my favorite, get to actually interact with all of you. So we're just going to have a quick look through the chat. I know there's at least one question come in already. If you have any questions on anything we've covered or haven't covered, please add your question to the chat or feel free to unmute yourself and ask. I see that Imola has already asked, how do we get to the race map? Cora Rose, can you answer that one?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are multiple different versions of our race map. If you're just looking for the stationary race map, when you go to the Power to Be site and click Power to Summit Vancouver, on the race resources, you will have access to the race map. But if you are interested in the virtual map that I was speaking to and how to plug in your elevation, that will be put online the day before the event so that no one actually pre-enters any elevation. So that will be going online the Friday, the start of it. So it will be accessible through our landing page. That's powertosummit.ca, and it's under the race resources, just the button next to it, and it will be called the elevation tracker.
Fantastic. Thank you, Cora Rose. We have another question that's come in. Thank you, Shakila. So does it count if you post on your Instagram story, or do you have to make actual posts? And I'm going to assume this is for the fabulous Telus social media challenge.
Yes, definitely. So it does count if you post onto your story, but what you have to do is you have to tag Power to Be, you have to tag Telus, and you also need to hashtag Power to Summit. So we love sharing the stories, and we will be sharing it on our Instagram as soon as you tag it as well. But make sure you include those 3 items, and that's how you become eligible for those awesome donated AirPods from Telus.
Thank you. That's great. And yeah, we want to see those posts not only for the Telus social media challenge, but so we can work out who's the best dressed and who's got the best team spirit as well. So there's many reasons we want to see your photos there and videos as well. I also wanted to go over a few questions because I know some of you have been asking us questions beforehand. So Cora Rose, what are the questions people have been reaching out to you with?
Yeah, that's awesome. So I actually had some racers that are new to this event. They were asking about what the best dress really is. People get really creative in this event. We've seen everything from full banana onesies to full gorilla onesies. We've seen a whole team dressed up as the runaway brides wearing wedding dresses. Last year, best dress went to the staycationers, and they were actually maps of where they were going to be hiking. The year before that, we had a full team dress up as Golden Girls and print out a framed photo of Golden Girls, and they did their entire race with that photograph, posing it at all these amazing monuments. So there's lots of ways to get creative. Another question I heard, and unfortunately, I have to advise everyone that no dogs are able to be eligible for tracking time or gaining elevation. These are for humans and racers of 4.
That's a really great point. We love dogs. We love seeing them in your photos, but unfortunately their elevation gain does not count to the total team elevation gain. Do we have any other questions out there? Anything that anyone would like to comment on? We'd love to hear from you right now. I don't see any other questions right now in the chat.
Just one question. So Imola here.
Hi.
I posted some questions already. So if our team does a team run on Sunday, but we individually also want to do some extra runs Friday and Saturday. Will those count?
Yes, definitely. That's a great question. So what we've done is we created this event to be accommodating to everyone's schedule. So the event actually starts on Friday at noon and it ends at Sunday at 4 p.m. So as long as you're doing it from sunrise to sundown, you're able to gain your elevation anytime from Friday at noon to Sunday at 4 p.m. Just be sure when you're entering in your elevation, you're putting it in the correct days, whether that's Saturday or Sunday, and Friday just falls into Saturdays.
Awesome. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks for the question. That's a great one because I know that there'll be some keen folks out there that will get all of their elevation done in one day. And I think there'll be some others that might want to spread the fitness over the whole weekend. And then, yes, just a quick question here coming in about accessing the tracker. Yes, so in terms of accessing the tracker, it will be updated on the website closer to race weekend. And we will be sharing an instructional video on how to input your elevation. But throughout the race weekend, if you're having any questions about using the tracker, any difficulties or issues, you can just reach out to us and we will be happy to help there as well.
And further to that as well, we do have an elevation tutorial that we'll be posting to the Facebook group. So make sure you join the Facebook group through the link. Maybe we can pop that in the chat just one more time here from the Power to Be side. And if you join the Facebook group, we're going to be actually inputting that elevation tracking tutorial, which goes through. But to answer your question, it is on the landing page on the Power to Summit Vancouver landing page.
Oh, and an excellent, great question here coming in from Diane. So we have, for tracking the elevation, should we use the Strava app? We definitely recommend that you use the Strava app. We found that that's a really helpful app to use, and it does integrate nicely with many different types of activity tracking, wearable devices, but it is up to you how you choose to track your elevation. I know that Fitbits can have an elevation tracker and some other different devices. Cora Rose, any advice on elevation tracking from you?
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic question. It's a question that's very common. We understand that different systems, there is always a bit of a variance, and we found that in previous years. As a charity, this is the honor system. So of course, yes, your Fitbit, your Apple Watch, you can use Strava, you could even do it through Google Maps. And if you have any questions, you can just reach out to our team and we're happy to walk you through it. As well, you can also research the elevation of any sort of like inclination mountain or summit area within your regions and should be able to find online what the elevation gain is. And so then you would just be responsible for tracking your time because you might know it's, if you're going to do the grouse grind, it's just over 900 meters. If you're going to do something else like the Coquitlam Crush, I believe that's around 400 meters. So there's lots of options out there for you.
I'm going to open up to the floor again for any further questions.
Thanks, you guys. Those were fantastic questions. I love getting the good chat going.
I know, it's great. Okay, well, I think it looks like there's no more questions at the moment, but of course, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are all here and happy to help. And talking of helping, this whole event, Power to Summit, would not be possible without the amazing support and help of our incredible sponsors. So I would just like to mention, thanks for the cheering there, Cora Rose. I would like to mention a big thank you to our presenting sponsor, Newmont. They've got a team in as well, so can't wait to see all of their team photos and how they're doing on race weekend. And then our other incredible sponsors, so many fantastic companies here. We have our community sponsor, BD, our social media sponsor, Telus. Our takeoff sponsor is Helijet. Our team spirit sponsor is Castles. Approach sponsor is BMO Capital Markets. Fuel Your Summit sponsor is Petro Value. Our Alpine sponsor is Driftwood Brewery. And our media sponsor is the Globe and Mail. And all of these folks also have teams in, and many of you are on this call right now. So thank you for joining us, and thank you again for your incredible support. And then, of course, to our wonderful event partners who have been so generous as well. Thank you to Fjallraven, NSC Sport, Arc'teryx, 102.7 The Peak, and Brentwood Bay Resort. Thank you all for all of your generosity. We could not do this without you. So I'm just going to add finally that if you have any questions, again, reach out to us, and you can always find a lot of this information on the website. That's powertosummit.ca. But I'm going to end by saying thank you from me, and thank you from Rose and the whole team at Power to Be, and of course all of our program participants who you are supporting with your amazing fundraising for this event. We really appreciate everything that you're doing, and we really look forward to seeing you all virtually on race weekend, and connecting with you on the Facebook group. So thank you again for your time today, and good luck on your summits.
Good luck, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.